Hello, my friends. Today I'm here with another book, which is 1984 by George Orwell. I think you are familiar with the author, George Orwell. He has a popular book entitled Animal Farm. So today I'm here with a dystopian novel, more or less similar with the one I mentioned, Animal Farm. This is a story of a totalitarian regime which has some disturbing elements. All of it is about surveillance and resistance and how a party member is brainwashed. A while back, I started reading it. I think it was twice. However, I didn't finish it because I felt the story. I felt the situation in which the major character was in, the hero was in, Winston was in. So it is a bit frightening. So for this reason, I stopped it. But now I have just resumed reading this book. I'm not sure if you read it. Certain people quote it when they discuss politics, surveillance states, dictatorships, and so on, but I can't tell if they read it. And summary may not really suffice, therefore, I encourage you to read it. It's in the list of 100 BBC's 100 novels of all time, and even in the Time magazine's 100 best novels of all time. So I will try to narrate the story as much as possible. Uh, I do narrate novels, but it's in a way of giving my insights. I may not be summarizing it, telling you everything, because I want you to read and have your own ideas. The title 1984, it was published in 1949, so it is the setting is in the field. He has done this in purpose. Uh, it's a story of Winston, not Winston Churchill, another Winston, Winston Smith. Uh, there is a lady called Julia, and there is O'Brien, and there are people in the story who are party members and a lot of people, minor characters. Happens in the Victoria Mansions and other administrative buildings, and in London, in what it calls Airstrip 1, Oceania, which could represent the Great Britain. The guy number, and there are four tall buildings which house the ministries of peace, love, plenty, and I think there is another one. He has no food at home, so he eats in the canteen at his office. There are certain amazing things like Gateway, in which they do the economy drive, where they save money. They save certain items, groceries. There is a telescreen in the house of party members, which is like a CCTV camera, and also it records at the same time it displays certain videos. The police patrols, it's a police state, the police patrols, even using helicopters. There is even a certain different type of police called thought police who monitor what you think. The language they speak in that country is called newspeak. Uh, Everywhere you go in the houses, in the offices, there is a picture of a man, a big picture of a man, and underneath it, it says, "Big Brother is watching you." This symbolizes the policy state. The regime watches every move you make. And there is a quote: war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. It's a paradox. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. If you don't believe this, or if anybody in the party or working in the state, the inner circle or anywhere doesn't believe it, they have a way of making you believe it by torturing you. Very difficult torture for a long, long time in a place you don't know. And you don't know how you qualify for that torture too. They don't have a law. Everything could be illegal. Because they want to incriminate you, they don't have a law. Anything could be um, used to incriminate you, to punish you. So you better mind your mouth, or mind your own business anyhow. The 2 minutes of hate is a time when you scream. They scream in the office. They watch a photo, a video of Emmanuel Goldstein, whom they believe is the enemy of the state. So he will appear on the telescreen speaking something. So they shout above the telescreen so that they dominate his voice, and that's what they do. There is uh, an opposition, an imaginary opposition. So the leader, whose leader is Emmanuel Goldstein, the enemy, national enemy. So the Brotherhood is an underground opposition. Whether there is any brotherhood or not, nobody knows. And East Asia is the enemy of the country, even if it's changed later on to another country. Now it is the enemy, tomorrow it will be the friend, and the enemy changes. Winston works at the office, Ministry of Love, I think. So he loved Emmanuel Goldstein. But again, he thinks that Big Brother could be better. And this is done through brainwashing. They brainwash him. He knows the system is bad, but he thinks the system could be good because he's brainwashed. And there is a certain date on which O'Brien was telling him in the darkness, just whispering something and going. So he wonders if O'Brien is in the opposition or whether he has something to tell him. So he planted seeds of opposition in Winston's mind. If are found to be doing any thought crime, committing any thought crime, you'll be vaporized. The party has this slogan: who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. I think I read it elsewhere, but this is how this is done, is really there. How they control the past. Now they control the present and they control the past, your history. And then they indoctrinate you so that they control the future. How they erase history, they have their own way of doing it. Your children will be spying you. So you better mind yourselves, your mouth at home even. Even there is a certain person, Mr. Parson. He says something in his dream, so his 7-year-old daughter informs the state. The leader of the country, Big Brother Bibi, is on the coin, on stamps, on books, everywhere. That's how they indoctrinate you. Children even playing thought police. We see this through the children of Mr. and Mrs. Parsons. Winston, the hero, grew in the house for homeless children. What happened to his mother and sister? Nobody knows. The book doesn't give much details. Maybe she's vaporized, she was killed, or she was imprisoned. Later, when he was imprisoned, a certain woman comes and she tells him that her name is Smith. Maybe she could be his mother, who knows? One day, when Mr. Winston goes to O'Brien's house, he was invited to O'Brien's house. The house looks very beautiful. We know the frugal life Winston lives, and then the life of O'Brien was so beautiful. His house was beautiful. He wanted to invite him to his house because he wants him to join the brotherhood. You know, this O'Brien is from the inner party, from the leading party. He invites him to be involved in the opposition. Look, do you trust this? Could you tell this is really for real? What if he's checking whether he has any interest towards the opposition? But you know, he agrees. He invites not only Winston, but also his girlfriend Julia. What's interesting about Julia is uh, earlier when Winston was checking how things were going on, he saw that this lady has some interest towards him, but he thought she was like spying him. But he was not sure. One day even he wanted to kill her. But later she slipped a little piece of paper on which the sentence "I love you" was written. So afterwards they started meeting outside the town. Even loving is very dangerous there. It's prohibited. For what reason? Because this girl is even in the anti-sex league. There is a certain uh, unit in the party which goes anti-sex so that they get loyal to the system. Okay, so this underground, this reminds me of the EPRP, the Ethiopian People's Revolutionary Party. What they do, I think, is more of similar to this. I think they read this or other socialist literature so that they do underground work. The war shifts to another country. This happens. So O'Brien gives Winston the Goldstein's book, which is it's a critical one for those who wish to join the underground. It analyzes politics in talk, which is socialism as it is called in that country in USB, as opposed to science. They are against science. So it's a quote from this book: "A peace that is truly permanent would be the same as a permanent war." So peace, permanent. So that's why they say war is peace. A peace that is truly permanent would be the same as a permanent war. So war is peace. Ignorance is strength. You learn from the book of Immanuel Goldstein. I think in Animal Farm there is Snowball and Napoleon thing. So Big Brother and Immanuel Goldstein is also the same thing. So in the prison he meets Ambleford the poet. He meets Mr. Parson too, who was denounced by his daughter. O'Brien tortures Winston, a very harsh torture, famished torture, because he was not able to double think. Double thinking is mandatory for that reason. He was asked to tell whether 2 plus 2 was 5 and he denied it. So for that reason they punish him, they torture him until he believes 2 is 5. Is it 5 or? If you don't believe it, you shall join room 101, which is the torture chamber. We shall squeeze you empty and then we shall fill you with ourselves, he tells him, O'Brien. We shall squeeze you empty and then we shall fill you with ourselves. This is how they they brainwash the members of the party. And Big Brother is not may not be a real person. He's an embodiment of the party. Just the party is Big Brother. Oh, so how was he imprisoned? He kept a diary at home. For this reason, they were following him for 7 years. At home, Goldstein has a notebook. He calls it the book, and he keeps a note. He has a certain thread he puts on it, or underneath, or on the page he is writing at, and he leaves it not as it is, but he puts a little dust because there is a telescreen at home. He is always under surveillance. He hides somewhere in the house and writes. But they say that they have been playing for 7 years. That's why they imprisoned him. Even the torture involves a lot of things, even uh, making you eaten by rats, devoured by rats. He loves Julia. Uh, Julia might be the one who informed on him. She could have a certain mission so that she informs the inner party about him and what he thinks. Later, after all this torture, he joins uh, his colleagues at his workplace. He's back at work, and he has won the victory over himself. He loved Big Brother. After all that torture, he loved Big Brother. The language newspeak, I think linguists should study how newspeak works. The political cadres, the inner circle members, non-newspeak. The vocabulary is the ABC vocabulary: A category words, B category words, C category words, and also grammar. Everything in the language in newspeak, the language the political party members speak, is really developing into a new language. They think that the books from the previous regime, that is before the revolution, should be translated in newspeak. They say that the language they speak at that time could not be understandable by 2050. So it's really an amazing one. Uh, the philologist Syme, who was later killed, says, "We shall make thought crime literally impossible because there will be literally no words to express it. If you want to express a certain thought crime, what they say is thought crime, you will not have any language, any vocabulary, any grammar to think that thing which is against the party. So you will be thinking something favorable to the party only. There is face crime, crime for your looks, from your looks. They see you and they detect you have crime. Ear trumpets, to listen to your speech through keyholes at home. They have that ear trumpets. So a memory hole, all old files corrected. They correct old files, as I said earlier, and they replace them with cooked data or new ideas, and then they remove that into a memory hole. Um, so how does Big Brother get rid of too popular subordinates? If you are a member of the party, minister, and then you are too popular, Big Brother will get rid of you by a certain mechanism. Those Then, if they want to promote certain propaganda, they create a certain general, army colonel or so, and then they create a story, and then they come up with a fake obituary so that they promote it on the media. It's an amazing one. It resembles certain political systems. We say that fiction is a copy of real life, or fiction is taken from real life, but sometimes real life is taken from fiction. I think a lot of political systems took this book, the idea of Animal Farm in the 1994 as a model. So we learn a lot, like bombing your own people to get some political advantage. A lot of things are there in the book. This is just the story. Winston was an officer. He will be an officer, but earlier we were not sure whether he was in support of the party. But later, after the torture, he supports the party. They brainwashed him. This novel tells us a lot of things how totalitarian regimes, especially socialist regimes, um, operate. Just uh, ideas I took note of from while reading the novel, and I invite you to read it. To read maybe Animal Farm first and then 1984 next. This is Mazam with Pan African Book Reviews. Thank you for your attention.